ask questions, okay? So these are some pictures and okay. What are the two types of pituitary glands? This is the first question. Okay, you have to write this question and you have to write the answer and you have to submit. Okay. What are the two types of pituitary glands? So those are we are having anterior and posterior pituitary glands. Is the slide is visible? Wait, is the slide is visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So as I earlier said, you have to submit an assignment about the endocrinology because most of you were absent last class. So I will tell some questions. Please note the questions. Okay, you have to search the answers on the slide itself. Okay, no, you no need to search on the internet or any other media. So just search the answers on the slides and you have to write it and submit. Okay, I will tell the submission date and the mode of submission later. Please note the questions. Okay, not only for endocrinology, for all the practicals you have to submit the assignments and I will tell the questions. Okay. So here the first question is, what are the two types of pituitary gland? Okay, please note the first question. If anybody know, you can tell the answer. What is the two type of pituitary gland?
Anterior and posterior.
Okay, very good. And the second question is, what are the hormones that is secreted by anterior pituitary glands and what is the hormones that are released by posterior pituitary gland? Okay, please note these questions. The hormones that are secreted by the anterior and the posterior pituitary gland is the second question. Okay, I will randomly ask one person. Okay, 2020 AG131. Dilakshika.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what are the two hormones produced by posterior pituitary gland?
ADH oxidose.
Okay, good. Oh, What are the two types of pituitary gland? The second question is you have to list the hormones that are produced by both of these glands, anterior as well as posterior pituitary glands. Okay. And the third question, you have to write the functions of each of hormones. Okay, all the 8 hormones. You have to write the functions of 6 hormones of anterior pituitary hormone and 2 posterior pituitary hormones. Okay. As the third question, you have to write the functions of each hormones. Okay, you can write it simply or write growth hormones promote the growth of antibody. ACTH secretion of adrenocortical hormones, and TSH it will control the rate of secretion of thyroxine, and prolactin it will promote the mammary gland development. FSH control the growth of ovaries and testes. Just like that, you can simply write. Okay, no need to expand your answers. Okay. And the fifth questions, you have to list out fourth questions, you have to list out the cells of anterior pituitary glands. Okay. I think you are writing it in somewhere else. You have to write it. You have to write the questions and you have to submit. The fourth questions, what are the types of, what are the cell types of anterior pituitary glands? And here in this slide, you must know the posterior pituitary gland can be controlled. Why the posterior pituitary gland is controlled by hypothalamus in two main ways. Okay, can anyone tell us what are the two main ways in which hypothalamus controlling the posterior pituitary hormones? Nervous signal. Nervous signal and hormonal. Very good. Nervous signals and hormonals. And you have to write the way in which the posterior pituitary gland is controlled by hypothalamus, and you have to write the name of the hormones, and this is the fifth question. I think you have to write the name of the hormones and you have to write the name of the vessels that is conducting these hormones. And the other question, you have to write all the physiological functions of growth hormones. Okay, so you can simply write. And you have to describe what is ketogenic effect of growth hormones, right? I think you are writing the questions. Okay, you have to write the questions and you have to write the answers. What is the ketogenic effect of growth hormones? And you have to write a small short notes regarding somatomedins. Okay. No, short notes means not in paragraph. About 4 or 5 points is enough. You have to write about what is somatomedins. And you have to briefly explain the functions of ADH and oxytocin. Okay. Please briefly explain the functions of ADH as well as oxytocin. Okay, that's it. So you have to note these questions. About, I think within it's less than 10 questions. So you have to write all these questions and you have to search the answers from the slide and you have to submit. because of the network errors is all happening. Okay. Now we can start about the digestive system. Okay, before studying about the digestive system, there is some variation between the digestive system of calves, that means small young animals, as well as cattle. Okay, the main variation is the presence of esophageal groove in the calves. Okay, first we can continue this. After that, you can start the digestive system of ruminants. So here in this picture, you can see there are four main stomachs: rumen, reticulum, omasum, as well as abomasum. That's why the ruminants are called as the animals with compound stomach. Okay. So what about the monogastrics? Whether are they having compound stomach?
No.
No, they are having simple stomachs. Ruminants are having compound stomach. So this is the picture of a stomach of a calf. Okay, that here look, the size of abomasum is larger than the size of rumen in this picture. So that means it is a digestive system of calf. But for a well-developed cattle, the size of the rumen is very much higher than that of the abomasum. Okay, here this is the picture of calf, right? So calf digestive system. First, we can study about esophageal groove. So here, when the calf is taking the milk, it should not be directed straightly into the rumen. Okay? Because the rumen has the microbes and it may ferment the milk. So thereby, then it will create a condition called as bloating. So the milk which is taken by the calf should not straightly go inside the rumen. Okay? So here there's a part in the calf called as esophageal groove. This part direct the milk straightly into the abomasum. Okay. So here the milk is straightly going into the abomasum with the help of this part esophageal groove. Okay. Here when the milk is passing through the esophageal groove, it is bypassing the rumen, omasum as well as reticulum. Okay, the milk will not go into the rumen, omasum or reticulum. So milk straightly going into the abomasum. So the main function of esophageal groove is directing the milk straightly into the abomasum. Okay. So it is a muscular structure at the lower end of esophagus. I think you know what is esophagus. So it's a tube that is originating from the mouth portion and ending up in the stomach. So here it's a esophageal groove is a muscular structure at the lower end of esophagus. So in this picture you can see esophageal groove, the dotted lines, the part that is expressed shown in the dotted line is esophagus groove, that is originating at the end of esophagus. It's a tube that allowing milk to go directly into the abomasum. Okay, because of this esophageal groove, the milk will not pass through the rumen, reticulum, or omasum. It will directly go into the abomasum. So it bypasses the rumen, reticulum, omasum, straightly going to the abomasum. Okay. Normal calves born with an esophageal groove, the suckling means what? The action of getting milk from the teat of mother. So the suckling reflex in milk protein stimulate the esophageal groove to open. Okay. So here, I think you understand the main function of esophageal groove. Okay, can anyone tell what is the main function of esophageal groove?
Direction the milk
Okay, directing the milk
into the abdomen.
into the abomasum. Okay. Here, In the young ones, after milk feeding, we should not allow the cattle to drink water, calf to drink water. Okay, we should avoid calf drinking water right after the milk feeding. Okay, because when the calf is feeding the milk, the esophageal groove is open. Okay, but immediately if you take the water also may go into the abomasum. Okay, so when the calf is immediately drinking water after taking the milk, the groove may still open. The groove will be still open, and through the groove, the water may go into the abomasum. Okay. Here, the milk which is going into the abomasum will form the clots. Okay. Clot-like structures. Then only the nutrients will be absorbed. But if water go inside the abomasum, the clot-like structures will weak and the calf can't digest the milk. So immediately after feeding the milk, we should not allow the calf to drink water because the water may get inside the abomasum and it may weaken the clot. That means the milk clot that is formed inside the abomasum, and that will prevent the digestion of milk. So, just one question. So, okay. Can anyone explain why we should not feed the water? Sorry, we should not allow the calf to drink the water after feeding milk? Yes, anyone?
Weaken the clot.
Okay, it will weaken the milk clot that is formed inside the abomasum. So the activity of esophageal groove decrease after weaning. Weaning means separating the young one from the mother. So the activity of esophageal groove decrease after weaning and as the age of animal advance. So when the animal is getting age, so the function of esophageal groove will decrease. Okay, esophageal groove will not always present on the animal. Okay, when it is too young, there will be esophageal groove, but after the development of rumen, there will not be any functions for this esophageal groove. So the activity of the esophageal groove decrease after weaning and when the animal is getting age. But we can also trigger the function of esophageal groove under certain conditions. So here I am not sure this is clear or not, but anyway I will send the picture later. So here you can see the milk flow that is straightly directed into the abomasum through the esophageal groove. So the what main purpose of esophageal groove is it will prevent the milk from fermentation by ruminal microorganisms. Okay, if there is no any esophageal groove, then the milk will be directed into the rumen. So in the rumen, we all know there are some microorganisms. If there is no any esophageal groove, the milk which is taken by the calf may be fermented by the ruminal microorganisms. So esophageal groove prevent the colostrum or milk from fermentation by ruminal microorganisms. Okay, this contraction part, okay, I'm going to give it as your discussions. Okay, you have to search in right under these topics. After that, I will explain. So here, there are some factors that affect the closure of esophageal groove. First, the age of animals. Okay, when the animal is getting the age, the function of esophageal groove will decrease. And the method of triggering, okay, this also can affect the closure of esophageal groove. And the composition of liquid consumption and the site of delivery into the esophagus. These are the factors that affect the closing of esophageal grooves. So we can now study about the calf's digestive system. So as I earlier said, the abomasum is the largest part in the stomach of calves. Okay, when the calf is developing into the cattle, the rumen is the largest part. When the cattle is a small one, the abomasum is the largest part. For the first 2 weeks of the calf's life, it is monogastric or simple stomached animal. Okay, because there is no any rumen development on the first 2 weeks. So we can consider it as monogastric or simple stomached animals. Okay, especially in the first 2 weeks. Here only abomasum is used to digest the milk or milk replacers, because the esophageal groove is straightly directing the milk into the abomasum, and the abomasum is digesting the milk or milk replacers. Here we all know the abomasum is considered as true stomach because it can secrete some digestive enzymes. So here the abomasum releases digestive enzyme to break down the fats, carbohydrates and proteins. Okay. So in the calf's digestive system, for the first 2 weeks of the calf's life, it is monogastric or it is simple stomach, because it is only using the abomasum for the digestion purpose, because there is no any rumen development at this time. This abomasum releases digestive enzymes and that can break down the fats, carbohydrates and proteins. Okay, with that, I will wind up the class and we can continue from the next class. Okay. Sorry, because of some connection errors, I am